How do you think everyone's feeling when they hear me describe it like that?
Probably changing to a different podcast. Hello, everybody. The sun is shining. The wind is dying down here in the DFW area.
Finally.
And we are set for another round of NQT. Hey, Mike.
It's been really windy.
It has
in the
been
DFW area. Lots of dust.
It's strong winds to quite strong.
Quite strong winds. Where in the world where's normal high winds?
Normal high winds?
Yeah, like where do you go where it's windy all the time?
Maybe the Highlands of Scotland.
I was going to Scotland.
What'd you think?
I was thinking Scotland.
Yeah.
Scotland, mate. Oh, wait, no. Sorry.
what do we do? Oh, I'm confused. My brain is brain's doing backflips right now.
Okay, Scotland. What about Chicago?
Chicago is the windy city.
The windy city.
Do you know why it's the windy city?
Is it because it's by the water?
It is by the lake.
Okay.
By which lake, Mike?
Don't ask me that question.
Come on.
Geographically.
Yeah.
The Finger Lakes?
No fingers in these lakes, but it is like Michigan.
Lake Michigan. Same.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
It was on the tip of your tongue.
It's known as the Finger Lakes.
Yeah.
Not know that?
No, it's not.
Interesting.
No.
Okay. Is this because you're the cool guy from Chicago?
I know, but
Colorado.
I know some cool Chicago people.
Here we go.
Hi, cool Chicago people.
Hey, that makes you sound cooler when you say it like that.
I do. I'm feeling quite cool here, but the Finger Lakes, no, I think those are up in the New York area.
So here's a hot take you didn't think I was going to throw at you. Matthew was asking me the other day, who's the best NBA team and who had the most three-peats? And we looked it up because I thought this, but I had to look it up to make sure. 2 three-peats by the Bulls in the 90s. Do you think that is one of the best NBA teams that's existed before? Or would you say another team?
I think the Bulls of the 90s.
Okay.
And also the Lakers and Celtics.
Back in the day.
They're back in the day.
That's what I told him.
So, yeah, it's usually those three. Those vaunted franchises. Not the Mavericks, and especially not the Mavericks now.
No, we're not talking about that again. That's for the grab back.
Kyrie's out for the season now. So
I know, it's just getting worse. I don't want to talk about it. If you are interested in our take on the Luka trade, go back and listen to our grab back episode. And
sorry, everybody.
It's in the title. It's in the title.
Yep.
Speaking of what's in the title, what do you think is in the title for today's conversation?
Today, I believe we're going to be talking about how difficult it can be, how hard it can be to receive.
Yes!
That's right. To receive what?
To receive gifts.
Yep.
To receive compliments.
Yep.
To receive nice things. We're not talking about receiving bad things. We're not talking about somebody leaving something on your doorstep that you don't want.
It's the feeling when someone straight up speaks into your life and gives you something really encouraging, really specific about you. They pay you a genuine compliment and you have to receive it, and that's it. There's no catch. There's no comeback. You're not even giving it back to the person. You guys sit there and receive a compliment. How do you think everyone's feeling when they hear me describe it like that?
Probably changing to a different podcast. Yeah, but wondering.
Probably feeling like that.
Exactly, feeling like that.
Yeah.
What are those situations where you find that, or where you've seen people having to sit there and endure a compliment, and maybe have to squirm while they're.
I mean, in my world lately, it's when you're encouraging, you're empowering someone, and it's just in those, we talked about this too, it's just those rare moments where someone just comes out, they look at you straight in the eye, and they just say something really direct about you. That's very encouraging. Like it's a good word, someone doing a great job. I got to think of a specific example, but I know when I bring this up with people, everyone squirms. Everyone typically is like, oh. And then when I'm on the receiving end personally, it is real. I feel that way on the inside. It is. We've done that in our small groups before, where we've taken weeks and everyone speaks life into one person. Where basically it would be, okay, this week, everyone is going to look at Chris and we're going to go around the room and everyone's going to say something encouraging, like that's really specific.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Yeah.
And there, yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly, and that is the number one thought is I hate this. See you later. I don't
It's a
want this.
formalized cringe,
I
right?
hate it.
Yeah.
So why is it so cringy?
And
Why it's so cringy for everyone? It's so
yeah, are we just we're definitely not prepared for that, right? I know
yeah,
when people, they know they're going to receive an award, or they get tipped off that we're probably going to get this award here,
like an Oscar.
like an Oscar. No, Oscars aren't in my world, but
Oh,
uh,
it's just mine.
yeah, say somebody who
A
is
Dundee Award.
a Dundee.
A Dundee. A
Yeah.
Dundee.
Hold me closer, tiny Dundee. You have won a tiny statue.
Can we get back
Yeah.
on the right track?
All right.
Okay, let's settle down here.
Yeah.
Let's get back in
Thanks
here.
for singing,
Yep.
Mike. Yeah. So if you're in my world, if you're making sales and you are obviously the one who's made the most over the year, and
Mhm.
there is an award ceremony at the end of the year, or sometime at the beginning of the year, to celebrate what's happened over the past year,
Yeah.
you probably know you're going to get some mention, some
Sure.
call outs.
Sure.
And how comfortable is that?
I think you're still uncomfortable. I think they may know it's coming, but then they go get on stage or they get placed in front of whoever. Here comes Mr. CEO, let's say. Here's your glass, trophy award. And if I wouldn't just say if they give you the pat and back, they're like, great job, Timmy. Like, I don't think it's really that. And people clap. I think but what if the CEO turns to you? Like, you did an incredible job this year. Here's why, blah, blah, blah. And because of who you are, I really think they're feeling uncomfortable during that moment.
Yeah.
Even though they knew it was coming.
I tell you what, a lot of the business that I tend to do is on Zoom still these
Yeah.
days. I
Yeah.
know it became very popular during COVID, and rightly so. But even then, during company meetings where we have something called an honor chair, and we nominate, or people are nominated, and then people go around taking turns speaking as to why they really enjoy working with that employee, or something that they've done, or an account that they've been on. And every single time they say, you want to say a few words? And not really.
Probably
but
don't.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I love working here. And they're trying to get off that Zoom stage, or sometimes when it's in person, that real stage right away. They don't want to spend a lot of time with the focus on people saying, you're great.
Mm-hmm. So it makes me go, okay, I can at least maybe process for a second, because I can't speak for everyone. I know you can, but I mean, I can't do that.
I try to speak for all people.
Yeah. I don't want the attention on me. That's definitely a part of it. Which is funny. People think the opposite because of acting and things like that. It's like, I still don't want the attention. Like, there's lots of people that are made in many different ways, but I still think the average person does not want the attention. I mean, there obviously some people do, but I don't want the spotlight on me. And then maybe I don't feel worthy of the compliment.
Because you know some stuff about you.
Yeah. I know.
When you might have had a bad attitude while filling out that document.
I was wondering what you were going to say.
Mike is wonderful at admin work. He never fails to make sure fill
out that document. Huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know what example you were going to say there. No, I guess maybe that's. I feel unworthy or undeserving. I think it's something like that, because the reason I think that is because what would make me feel better would probably be to pay someone back, or like almost like, no, this isn't about me. Like, it's all of us. Like get it off me, pay it back, or just straight up, which sounds really disrespectful, actually, just straight up tell the person, no. Like, don't give me the compliment. I think, what about for you?
Difficult to be in the spotlight, I would say, for those kind of things. Because I do think that, whenever you do something really well, usually it's because other people have helped along the way, or you've done some teamwork,
Mhm.
and it might just fall on you that, hey, everything went well, and you get the spotlight for it. So I've never been comfortable with, okay, let's call you out and let's talk about you and all that you've done. I just don't think that that's something that I'll ever be
What if it
comfortable
was
with.
something you really did do by yourself? You still uncomfortable with it?
I think so, because maybe that's the right thing to do, and you weren't expecting to get any attention for it.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
so when people are calling you out, saying, you did this and it was great, and if it's something that you did by yourself, then
Mhm.
I would think, well, that's probably
Mhm.
something that just needs to be done more anyway. So, uh, that's probably causing some discomfort as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when we are on the receiving end with no response needed, no payback needed, I don't know of many other areas of my life where that's the case. Like where I don't know, I don't have a lot of people in my like the thought of no strings attached. Because I think we're normally thinking in our head, what's the attachment?
Right.
Which of course makes me think of the gospel. And I think that's also one of the reasons the free gift of the gospel is so hard for us to understand because it is free. And when you tell someone, well, yeah, Christianity is because you can't do it and Jesus had to do everything for you and you contribute
Zero.
0%.
Right.
That right there, still in my flesh, can hear that right now and be like, really? Like, are you, that doesn't seem right. But it's like, but why do I have such a blockage in me that still today will go, that can't be right?
So if words are difficult to receive, good word about ourselves
Yeah.
or about something that we've done, then money's got to be easier too, right? When people maybe give you a gift or contribute something financially to you, that's all easy, right?
Yeah, obviously. Being a little sarcastic there.
Yeah.
It probably gets
Nothing's
I
wrong.
guess it
Nothing's
gets
hard about
worse.
that,
A
right?
word, a gift.
Somebody buying you lunch when you
Sure.
weren't expecting
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Can't pay him back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and probably if you're like me, you feel like, okay, when can I pay them back?
Yeah. Yeah. We're
Like,
put up
when's
we're
the
put
next
off
time
by
we're
it.
going to get together? Because I'm
Yes.
going to
Yes.
want to do something in return, right?
But why, like the hard part is drilling down why is that? It
Is that a pride thing?
I so it's really funny. I was gonna ask you if that has something to do with pride because it feels so strong. Like I want to clench my fists when I'm on that receiving end of like, "Ugh, like
Yeah.
I can't, don't just do this for me." Like I feel like there's something about pride in that, but I'm not walking around like going, "Hey, look at me, I'm prideful." It almost feels
Yeah.
like a false, some version of pride. You're
Yeah.
smarter with words than me, so tell us what.
What are these words?
Yeah,
I'm
what's in
so
these words that you're saying?
sorry. uh, well, I know that's been a hard thing for me.
Mm,
Episode what 3, we talked about our stories. I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money.
sure.
Just that's the way it was in a
Yeah.
single parent household, and so people offering me rides to school, paying for certain things for me just to be a part of something that was never easy. And so
Yeah.
I think some of that still rears its head today whenever somebody gives something to me or they pay for me. It takes me maybe for a second right back there of, well, I can pay.
Yeah.
I've come a long way. We can,
Yeah.
this doesn't
Is
have to
that
be.
is that what goes through your head? It's like, I can get myself from point A to point B. You don't need to give me a ride.
I think
I
that's
can
the
pay.
logic. Yeah.
I'm capable. So okay, maybe we're getting somewhere with this.
Maybe the logic is, why are they offering to pay? Do they think that I can't?
They think I'm not
So,
capable, like maybe, and that could be a pride.
right.
There we go. That actually, that might make a lot of sense. Where I could see an argument where on my side, I would think by receiving blank, whatever it is, I might be admitting that I'm not capable, or I might be letting the person think I'm not capable,
Right.
which I'll say whenever I've been able to give the compliment or give someone something, I've never one time ever have ever thought someone's not capable so I'll do blank. It's never been that. So I really don't think any of us who've done this on the proactive side have ever done it out of a motivation of not being capable. But then I do wonder if maybe the hard part of receiving it is because maybe I'm less than in a way.
I think that's part of
You're
it.
hunching over big time because your microphone
My
stand
mic
is
is
lowering.
lowering as we speak, but we're gonna work this out.
So sometimes we're not going to be able to have video probably for a while because of some technical difficulties. But if you could see Chris and the way he's lowering his head and hunching over to get in front of the microphone,
This is a chiropractor's
it
dream right now.
It is.
But,
Yeah, chiropractors are lining up to give him a call after.
So if you want to give to our productions our ability to do video, we're not going to accept it because we don't want you to feel sorry for us.
We're too prideful to take it anyway. We're not going to. But yeah, maybe there's a I'm not I'm capable for this. You don't need to say this to me, which I definitely think would come out of pride. Yeah. There's got to be a pride there.
And I think there are friends that we have that they offer things and they just want you to be a part or to just enjoy something, and even that's hard at times to accept those free gifts or free tickets or those invitations. But I think that has more to do with us than them. And do we really think about what that does to them if we don't accept, or if we push back, or if we are prideful and say, oh no, don't worry about it?
Yeah, I actually think it could be disrespectful. I mean, it sometimes I think there are those of us that could reject something like the gospel out there, and it really is being like, oh God, that's I can't do that. He's like, well, I'm the one who sacrificed my son. It's like I'm the one who kind of did everything here. It's kind of prideful to not take it. And just like perfect example, I want to give you a gift and you say no so much, I would be like, just take the gift, man. Like it's not now instead of it being like an enjoyable transaction, so to speak, now it's like it's argument.
Right.
And now the whole joy behind it potentially is out. And so it also makes me think of people who this life is hard and this world is very challenging. And I think there's a lot of hurting people out there and a lot of people who've been brought up and raised in homes where, frankly, they probably never got a compliment or a gift or anything like that. And so to receive it later, it's probably this instant, I don't even know what this is.
Right.
Like I can't, it's foreign.
Is this good or bad?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 100%. Like,
what do I do with this?
Joelle and I didn't really grow up in households where it might have been a generational thing with parents. Just apologies weren't really common from like the parent to the child, which I don't think it was just our households. I think that's kind of a thing. And I remember when our kids were really little, first couple times, Joelle and I would apologize. They would look at us like, what is this? Like, what is happening? Kind of a thing. They just never, foreign concept. But that dynamic is so healthy. And just like if we have something to say to someone that can give them life, we have no idea what they could be going through. And I don't have all the experience in the world on this, but I've had times, and you tell me, I think you've had these times too, where you have like a good word for someone or a gift, and there was something more in their world going on. And your timing was, nothing short than like a miracle. It meant so much to them. You would have never known. But you also would have never known if you didn't go for it. And so I don't know. Sometimes when I think about maybe giving the compliment or the gift or something, it helps me think through their perspective. So then if I'm ever on the receiving end, it may not be easier, but it could help me maybe in those moments accept it. Sure. And then stop talking. Just say, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think that's there's an art to saying thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
And two very simple words, but very hard to say sometimes. Man. I did ask my wife about this because she is in the role of care minister, and so she sees people giving all the time to others. And, a lot of different situations there in which people are exercising their giving muscles. You have your giving muscles?
Giving muscles. Did she say it like that too with like an accent?
She's never said giving muscles.
Giving muscles.
Yeah.
Does your wife ever have an accent?
She still has a little bit of Northern Louisiana
What
accent
is
going
that?
on.
What's that like?
Uh,
What does that sound like?
but you talk to her every day.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Just give me an example, man. What's a Louisiana? Louisiana? Is
it's
that
not.
Louisiana?
No, it's not that. It's more subtle, and sweet. It's the best accent ever. Yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
wow.
Yeah.
You took
All
a
right,
page out of Jack Terrell there.
there you go.
What can Jessica do any other accents?
I don't think that's one of the strengths that she would.
Okay. She can't do a
take
British
on.
accent or an Australian, mate. She can't.
That sounds Scottish, Mike. That sounds like you're Scottish.
I can't do
But,
them either. So I was just curious if she got. Okay.
yeah,
You know what? Maybe we'll have our wives on the podcast someday
maybe
for the wife episode.
they
So
might listen to it one day and then decide they want to be on it. And we'll go from there.
Yes.
But
So what'd she say?
she said that sometimes when you are receiving and you are a giver, you are a person who likes to give, and that's your spiritual. It's one of your gifts.
Yeah.
That it is hard, doubly hard, to be able to take
Doubly.
in gifts because you feel like that's your role, and so something coming back at you is a bit more difficult because you want to be the person in that role giving. So
I could see that.
yeah.
That's, when you said the lost art of thank you, I just wonder if a good challenge could be where in this day or any given week coming up we'll probably have opportunities more or less. I bet us, and I bet anyone listening will have an opportunity to say thank you in
we ought to. I hope that's
silence afterwards. Right. Nothing else. Not thank you. And you said, nope, blah, blah, nope, nope, nope. Just say thank you. That potentially feels uncomfortable.
That does.
That silence.
Just letting it sit.
Why?
Because I think we're expecting some pushback. Like, no, don't do that. You don't have to do
that.
Man. Or you don't have to say that.
So maybe it's
maybe joking too. Like, if
yeah,
you only knew.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
So it can take on a lot of different forms instead of thank you.
Do you think a good antidote to feeling uncomfortable, do you try to have empathy and get in the shoes of the person who's giving it? Do you think, sometimes I think, you know what, we all need it. There's billions of people on the planet who doesn't need a good word or a gift. What do you think is like a good solution if it's an ongoing struggle for something?
I would say if you're on the giving, continue to give, continue to offer those good words, continue to offer those good actions.
Yeah.
I think the work has to be done on the receiving end of it.
Yeah.
And you tell me, but there are certain friends that I have where you just know, okay, they have lunch today. They're buying lunch. And then the next time around, I'm buying lunch. And we don't even have to talk about it. It's just, this is going to happen this way. And I love that. I love the comfort there.
Yeah.
I love it doesn't matter to me if you buy it or I buy it, whatever. We're good either way.
What do you think helps with that comfort? What brings about or increases that comfort?
I think time together.
Okay.
Time together. So you've seen it happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen again. So that I love that. And then you probably have situations too where there's no way this person's buying you lunch.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
You're going to split the checks and things are going to be just that way. And that's just the friendship, right? Either one is good, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't argue and say one is necessarily wrong. It's just different.
Maybe it's giving in other ways that those people, maybe they're quicker with a good compliment. Whereas in the other situation, it's just not that kind of conversation.
Sure.
So
it does kind of make me think some deep roots in our friendships and relationships around us. Like, it's because if a stranger came up to me on the street and wanted to pay me a compliment, that might even be harder for me to receive it because the whole time I'd be like, who are you? Why? What is this? The crazy thing would be if it was a really specific and timely compliment. You're kind of like, okay, God, clearly you're doing something here. It makes me. I just there's two things this conversation is making me think about. is one to speak up and do the action when I'm prompted. Like, don't delay in it. I think there's just something there. Every time I wait, I'll probably talk myself out of it. And then every time I seem to act on it, it just seems like it was the right thing to do. But to consider maybe everyone else around me is also being prompted. And do I want to get in the way of that by having an issue just receiving?
Yeah. I think being flexible in that too.
Yeah.
For instance, today I was planning on buying coffee for somebody that I was going to meet with.
Yeah.
And then when he arrived, he said, "You know what? I've been told that I have to limit coffee right now for a particular checkup that I'm about to have. And so let me buy you coffee." And,
Tables were
I
turned.
said, hold on, I can buy my own, but,
Yeah.
let him buy me coffee.
Yeah.
And we had a great conversation and didn't think anything else of it
So take that for example. Why let him buy you the coffee?
because he wanted to.
Yeah.
He offered to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not worth putting up the fight.
No.
Just let him because you would want if he let you do it, you would want to be able to do it.
Exactly.
Right? You offered it. So it's just a good challenge of we don't need to get in the way of a good word or a gift. And I mean, there's a whole nother conversation here if there are strings attached. That's a whole nother episode. And that's a weird motivation of the other person, and you're not responsible for that motivation, from someone else. But can we just say, thank you?
I hope so, because I think in the area of where where you're called to fundraise, where you might be going on a trip overseas, you might be going on a mission trip.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that are told, well, you're going to need to raise some funds for a particular mission trip, they might look at that as, oh, that's the last thing that I want to do is ask people for money.
Sure.
And that, when that does come in, hopefully it doesn't, usually does.
Yeah.
That you're going to have to practice the art of saying thank you. That might be kind of hard to do. So certainly we see that a lot around 121 as far as mission trips and opportunities there. But I don't think anybody ever looks forward to I can't wait to get my fundraising letter out there. And
no, I think it's challenging. It's a dependency. You're asking for help. But then here's the beautiful thing about that, whether we're talking about in the church or outside the church, we all do need each other, right? Like we need people at times to, we need to pick each other up. Like we're not meant this whole life, someone may not prescribe to the Bible and to Jesus, and we bring him up because we're followers of Jesus. So he's clearly important to us. It'd be silly not to. But I think people can grab onto the concept that this life is not meant to be in isolation.
Right.
Even though we drift to isolation, sometimes it feels easier or whatnot. But at the end of the day, we know, I really think deep down, we know we actually need each other. We need friends. We need these strong relationships around us. We need counsel. Like we need wisdom. We need a laugh. At times we might need money. We might need clothing. We just might need a good word. But to think of going through the whole life of not getting any of that or not giving it to anyone, right. I think there's something in all of us that knows that's like an incomplete feeling. Something's off.
So would the complete feeling in that be if you were to say, take the example of the fundraising letter and say, I can't wait to get this out in front of people so that they can exercise their gift of being able to give?
I think that's a way. So I've thought about that in my past and different times we've planted a church. We've done, I'll talk while you fix the microphone
Thank
stand.
you. Yeah.
Chris,
sorry if you're hearing a lot of rattling around.
No rattle.
Yeah.
No, I think
I was going to sink down lower.
It looks more natural the way it's good thing your shoes are off for this.
Lay down here.
I think yes, because the way I see that is all I'm doing is talking to people about opportunities. No one has to give, right? And we're talking a fundraising example specifically, but no one has to do it. But I'm just going to ask, and people I think will feel prompted or will help, but it's just an opportunity. And so I think I need to take that fundraising example, like you're saying, and just go, okay, on any given day, anyone around me, everyone has the opportunity to give a compliment or a gift or whatever. And I should embrace it, just like if I feel prompted, I should embrace that anyone has an opportunity today, even if they say something to me. And there is something you're making me feel some sense of gratitude. Like if I can lead out with gratitude and thankfulness throughout the day, it might be a little easier to say thank you.
Right.
And just receive it, and you just enjoy the compliment because you're supposed to enjoy it. If you get a gift, you're supposed to enjoy the gift. If you buy a Christmas gift for your kids and they open it and we're like, well, this is terrible, and they don't enjoy it, well, that kind of stinks for both people, including the parent who spent money on the gift.
It really does. It takes a lot of the fun out of being able to give, and then when you see that it's not accepted well, or that it's not treated with thankfulness or gratitude,
the joy's gone.
The joy is gone.
I think the joy is gone.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so on the way out, this is nearing the end of the episode. What do you think? What would you want the person who's listening to NQT right now, and they're thinking about this conversation? Hopefully they're still here with us. They've listened through you adjusting your microphone stand multiple times. You're basically laying on the ground. So we got to wrap things up. Obviously, you're getting lower. What is the takeaway you want someone to have?
Say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Accept the gift.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to give. You're going to have opportunities to give. But take the time to understand that that's how people are wired, number one, and that God also wants to give through people to you, that it may just be exactly what you need at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not something that we're trained to do. I don't think it's something that's talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of practicing your giving muscles, which is always good to do, we have to practice the receiving muscles.
That's right.
Or growing them.
That's right. Just say thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Just going to end it there.
We need to get comfortable with silence after thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Please consider rating and reviewing our podcast and hitting subscribe on whichever platform you prefer. Remember to keep moving forward because we're not quite there.